It's so easy for us to focus on what's not happening than to focus on what is. So today I want to talk about changing the narrative. The word effect is something we all have the choice, but sometimes you need an outside person to give you that perspective. What does that mean to change the narrative? Not pretending, not ignoring it, or just pretending and hiding it. But noticing the story that you're telling yourself and deciding, do I want to keep repeating this?
Welcome to The Word Effect with me, Becky Jane Kemp. This show is all about the language of leadership and how the words you choose shape confidence, resilience, and connection in leadership and in life.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to The Word Effect. I'm Becky Kemp and so happy to have you here. I am celebrating because today is my 100th episode. Yes, 100 episodes of The Word Effect. And I say this with a smile because, as many of you know that have been following me, I got to about 90 episodes and then I needed to put The Word Effect to the side, the podcast. And now I've relaunched it for the last few months, and I'm so glad to have you back joining with me here. You know, numbers sometimes can be misleading, right? Because if I say 100 episodes, you can just think that I never stopped. But I did. I had to take a break. But the number does have significance. And what it means is that I keep moving forward. Just as you do each and every day, you keep moving forward with the things that you're working on. It's so easy for us to focus on what's not happening than to focus on what is. So today I want to talk about changing the narrative. I heard this saying over the last weekend when I was at the National Speakers Association Influence Conference. It was in Austin, Texas. It's a place where speakers from all over the country and world gathered. There was probably about 800 to 900 speakers there, all different levels. And it's a place to learn, to connect, to grow. It's my 5th time going to this. I love the local chapter, and then this is more of the national thing. My 5th time going, it's for a long weekend, and it's really, really a great experience. Yet, there can be some challenges there. When you're around other people that are doing what you want to do, it's really easy to focus on what you're not doing and focus on what they're doing and make this big comparison. As we know, comparison leads to despair, and compare never gets me what I want because I need to be my own unique person. As I was sitting one day talking with another speaker, I was kind of airing some of the feelings I was having that I keep working on these things and I keep thinking this is going to happen. I have these expectations. And when it doesn't happen, I can feel frustrated. I can feel discouraged. And he gave me the best perspective. And I heard this a couple times, but the perspective was, well, change your narrative, change where you're focused. And it's funny because you guys know I talk about this. The word effect is something we all have the choice, but sometimes you need an outside person to give you that perspective. So today I want to talk about changing the narrative. What does that mean to change the narrative? Not pretending, not ignoring it, or just pretending and hiding it. But noticing the story that you're telling yourself and deciding, do I want to keep repeating this? Is this story helping me become the person I want to be, or is it not? Research has shown that intentional self-talk can improve performance, and reframing can help us regulate our emotions. Yes, we have the power to choose and to change that narrative. Now, those of you that are on YouTube or watching, you can see that I'm wearing my glasses. They change my perspective. As I've gotten a little bit older, I've had to start wearing readers or glasses that amplify or magnify my reading. Most of the time, I don't need them. But if I'm reading something and I don't have them, it's getting harder and harder for me to pretend. So to me, these are kind of referencing changing my view. By putting them on, it helps me see more clearly. It gives me more clarity. It gives me the ability to see what I'm trying to see. The problem is sometimes I can't find my glasses. I don't keep them near me, and I go to read something and I can't read it. The more I practice, though, guess what I'm better at keeping close by? My glasses. I actually have 2 pairs now, and I probably will be one of those people that gets a pair in every room because when I need them, I need to be able to pick them up. And if we're looking for them or trying to find them, it can cause frustration and you just feel like, oh, where are those when I need them? That's very much how our words are in changing our narrative. First, we have to become aware of what our narrative is, and then we get to choose where we focus and if we want to put on a new lens, if we want to see it differently. When I was at this influence conference, there's 2 choices. I can start to compare myself and notice how far away I am from my successes, or I can pull myself back and go, look at all the things that have happened in the last year and celebrate the wins. We get to choose. We get to choose where we focus. When we choose this, it makes all the difference. When we get to step back and choose what words we want to focus on each day. So when this friend of mine, a speaker friend, gave me the idea and the confidence to change the narrative, I was starting to focus on the lack, the things that were not going as planned. And he helped me say, but you can change that story. You can make any story you want. And isn't that the truth? We have the power to change how we look at the world. Instead of feeling lack and scarce, you can change to feeling abundant and fulfilled. Gratitude is the biggest key for this. As I speak, I talk about how awareness fuels action. And a lot of times we have to fake it till we make it. We have to act as if. We have to act confident and then move forward, and then we become confident. As a creator, you have to act like you know what you're doing, move forward, and then you become the creator. You have to take steps. I've never met anyone that's been able to change due to not taking action. Action is the steps to take. A lot of times those steps of action feel uncomfortable. They feel uneasy. Most of the time as a creator, when I want to do something new, I feel uneasy and I can find any excuse to push it away or to not do it. But I've learned it's being intentional with your words. And if you want to have a result, you have to take the steps to get there. It doesn't mean you have to go fast, but you have to be consistent. James Clear, who is well known for writing Atomic Habits, has said this: every action you take is a vote for the type of person you wish to become. Who do you wish to become? You know, it's so true. I go to the influence conference because I wish to become a more reputable and well-known speaker with regards to being an expert in intentional language and the language of leadership and the word effect. I go take that action, being around other people that are doing what I'm doing. But I also have to stay unique to me. I'm going to do things different than this person or that person, and that's okay. We each have our own way of seeing the world, but it's important we put on the lenses, that we put on positivity. We look for the good. So as you show up, what are you doing today to become the person you want to be? As a leadership speaker, a lot of times I'm teaching people how to lead first themselves, then they can lead others. It's an internal thing because our leadership honestly starts when we become the person that we want to be. And then we can be an example to those around us. We have to cognitively reframe our thinking. When we start feeling negative, we have the power to pause, to redirect. Some of the best things I can say are finding things of gratitude in the swarming of all the negativity. When I feel negative, I can pull myself back. So what do you do to feel positive? What words do you choose to put on? Do you have a saying? Do you have a routine? Recently, we've been talking with other guests about the power of routines, doing those same things over and over again. One of the best routines that I have, and I want to share with you now, is doing what's called a brain dump. When my mind gets full of all these thoughts, all these decisions, all these questions, whatever it might be, If I sit down and get it out on paper and like think of dumping the garbage out, then I can start to sift through and decide what matters and what doesn't. Sometimes it's just the act of getting it out of my head, giving it a place. Because if it's in my head, it's swarming around. So I recommend maybe a brain dump every morning, maybe once or twice a week, depending on what works for you. But sitting down and just writing all the things you're worried about, all the things that you're focused on, getting them out without judgment. Then you get to go back, take a few deep breaths, and then decide what's worth focusing on next. What's your next thing? To change narrative means you're changing something. You're doing something different. You're refocusing. If I were to say, what did you change into after work? You would have gone into your room and changed into something else. You refocused how you were going to show up. Well, we have to do that with our minds as well. How do we show up? We refocus. What is that going to look like in your life? Try a brain dump this week. I want you to practice it. I want you to think about putting the words on that matter to you. But first, get all of it out of your head and then decide, what story am I telling myself? Who am I trying to become? What words do I want to put on right now? Do I want to focus on the gratitude and how far I've come? Or do I want to focus on what I've yet to do? You see, we get to choose. We get to choose which words we put on each and every day. And as you practice directing, you'll get faster and better at being aware to it. And then we drop into curiosity. And that curiosity helps us then go, okay, well, everything I've written down, what do I focus on next? And we get to put something out and decide. I'm always amazed when I do this activity myself because I can see an order. It's that idea of first things first. Stephen Covey talks about it in 7 Habits to Highly Effective People. I learned that phrase also through 12-step recovery that I work through. But the idea is, what is first things first? When I look at everything on my list or everything on my brain dump, then I can start to ask myself, what needs to happen? I have a big upcoming consultation project that I'm doing for an orthodontics group in Virginia in the end of September. But before that time, I'm doing some preparation now, but before, I have other things I need to do. But I've realized when I have a window to really dig into this project. And so I'm putting it on my calendar. That's what I'm going to do. And by getting that out of my head and putting it on the calendar and dumping that information, I don't feel as worried about what am I going to be doing and when am I going to get to this. So practice it. Practice the words you put on. Become aware to your words. Become aware to the language that you use. Research shows that intentional self-talk can improve every aspect of our lives. It can improve your inner dialogue and your performance out there. So change that narrative. Find those words that you want to shift to. If you're feeling stuck, if you're feeling uneasy, pull yourself back and ask, what can I be grateful for in this moment? Do that brain dump, get everything out of your head, and then say, okay, now what's next? First things first. And the last thing I want to share, I got this advice as well this week. Have a little fun each day. What are you doing fun for yourself? You know, we have so many plates that we're juggling and we have so many things that we're focused on. The other day, someone said to go have some fun, make sure I have a little bit of fun. And I decided what that looked like for me. And it might be different for you than it was for me. It wasn't anything really big or momentous, but you know what? It was intentional. And intentional words make the difference. So show up today. Know that you have the power to change your narrative each and every day. You can reset, redirect. Let those words be your compass because your word effect matters. As you practice this, it will get easier and easier, and you will become more in charge of your thoughts, and your thoughts drive your actions. which create your results. And you too will be able to live your most beautiful life by just being aware of the words you use each day. All right, take care. Until next time, go practice these words. And I'd love to hear what words you're putting on, what words you're using right now to live your best life.
To learn more about my work as a leadership speaker and coach, visit becomingwithbecky.com. Subscribe to The Word Effect and join me next time as we explore the power of intentional language.